Hi, and welcome to Simply Channeling. Sarah and I set our prayers and intentions prior to starting this filming. And now, here's Sarah.
Because that was a question I had. I really didn't know how to ask.
Well,
So, thank
in
you.
another way, I know that there are hybrids on your planet. The beings that have produced these hybrids took DNA from a human being and whatever they call it from their being, and they had to experiment a lot until they were able to tweak them where they came together and created the hybrids. Some species it's easier than others.
So, in other words, they're doing cloning of a sorts. I say with a smile on my face.
If you want to call it that.
Tomato, huh?
Sort of, kind of. If they wanted to clone, and there are species who have, they just take their own DNA and clone themselves. But to mix it with another physiology is a scientific endeavor with the goal of producing hybrids that could not only survive but thrive on Earth. Nowhere else, just on Earth. And so that's a little different than just cloning.
A few moments ago, I got the feeling that I'm irritating you. Is that correct?
No, I don't feel any irritation. You're just fun.
Okay. It must have been Sarah I was irritating.
Probably.
In a world that does not have DNA, in other words, molecules that control, so to speak, or build with energy the structure of the body, that type of stuff, the instruction set.
Okay.
What type of instruction set or biological agent do those that don't have DNA have? How do they actually form?
I did answer that. I've answered it a number of times. It's not what humans call DNA because those letters stand for a specific thing. They have their own version.
Oh, you never told me their own version of DNA.
I believe I have.
Thank you. Now that answered the question.
Yes. They have building blocks, so to speak.
Okay.
But they're different from humans because they are different from humans.
Okay.
Okay. Just had to find the right words, huh?
I was trying to determine if everything has an instruction set for building or repairing a body. That's what I was trying to find out.
Okay, then ask that because
I didn't know that until just now.
Yes, everything, everywhere, if it has any physicality at all, it has its own set of instructions.
Okay. Does Bigfoot have DNA? Yes or no?
I think it's a mix.
Okay.
And not because they were cloned or whatever from somewhere else. It was the evolution on your planet, and they went into a different dimension because they didn't like something. What was it? Oh, they didn't like the fact that the planet was evolving, changing, and they wanted to stay the way they were, which they pretty much have. And so they went into the other dimension, and their DNA that they started with, whether they know it or not, evolved to be different. So That's what I meant by a mix. It's not really alien, but it's not human DNA anymore either.
Okay. So this dimension they bounce in and out of with us, they go into, is that physically in this universe the same location as Earth is, but only a different frequency? What I'm trying to find out is whenever they go to the other dimension, do they have to travel from point A to point B, or do they just change their frequency and still remain on the same physical Earth, just in a different dimension, different reality?
Well, it's not the same physical Earth because it's in a different dimension.
The same, they visit the
But
same location.
Yeah, they can pop in and out. They don't have to go to a certain place and find a portal, say, and then, I'm going to go back home, or no, I'm going to show Junior what this is like. And they like to pop over to see what humans are doing, basically what they've been doing to nature. And then they go back to their own dimension and are like, boy, am I glad we're not there anymore.
First of all, they wouldn't be here anymore. They'd been dead.
Probably, yeah.
Some people claim there's an ET and Bigfoot connection. Is there?
There could be, because Bigfoot is more aware of what y'all call ETs and are more accepting of them, have never been afraid of them. They're not afraid of very much unless there's a human being pointing a shotgun at them. Then they know it's time to pop back home. But that doesn't happen often because they're not usually in the view of human beings long enough for that to happen. But anyway, back to your question.
You're answering multiple questions, by the way.
Okay. But yeah, they and various other universal beings, I should say galaxy beings, have been interacting practically since day one.
Interacting with Earth?
Interacting with Bigfoot. Bigfoot and other galactic beings. Yeah.
So then, does Bigfoot visit them, or do the other entities visit Bigfoot?
Other entities visit Bigfoot. It's just easier for them. Bigfoot can pop in and out of this earthly realm because that was their origin point.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And besides which, they don't really want to go anywhere else. They're quite content where they are.
In a previous session, you mentioned that ETs visit based on their own agendas.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any understanding as to what those agendas are? Do they need approval from Gaia to visit? Do they need approval from you guys to visit? Do they need approval from anyone in your realm before they visit?
In a manner of speaking, yeah, because humanity is not ready to give any sort of approval or permission. Close. And there's that number again. There are more and more people who are looking forward to it. With caution, because the vast majority of beings who visit Earth don't really need permission from Gaia. She's fine. But most of them are members. You are aware of the Galactic Federation kind of a thing. And most of them are members. And so they're all they share information. They're all kind of just trying to help humanity along so that they can visit in person, physically. And they also try to keep an eye on the ones who maybe aren't quite as benevolent, shall we say. It's not that
You mean the ETs that are not?
The ETs that are not
Okay.
benevolent, but they are not necessarily harmful unless humans who meet them expect them to be. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So caution is the key word for humanity meeting extraterrestrials. The vast majority of them are friendly. They want to help. They've been helping in a lot of ways. And they want to support, and they want Earth to rise to the frequency that Earth can join, humanity can join the Galactic Federation, whatever you want to call it. But individuals and your leadership, because heaven knows your world leadership gets all tied into knots about the weirdest things. But the rest of you, individually, just do your Do your due diligence. Know who it is. And go with your gut a lot of times. If you get a bad feeling from an individual ET, then maybe that's not the one you need to be speaking with. Maybe you need to look somebody else up. And all of that will come out when first contact, quote unquote, is made. And there will be ETs who will tell you the same thing. Be cautious and we'll help. Any questions, come to us, we'll help you. So just remember that caution. Okay?
Very good.
All right.
Through meditation and intention, can we stop the aging process?
Meditation and intent do not necessarily make that difference, because the co-creation has aging as part of the process of, the experience. So as individual, that's bugging me. No, it's bugging her, not me. An individual human would have to have moved his or her frequency, lifted it almost to the point of non-corporeal existence in order to truly affect it. Because as long as you are physically on Earth, you're part of this co-creation. I know there are scientists trying to, for centuries, millennia probably, humans have tried to slow it or stop it or reverse it or somehow find what's the word? Boy, I know what I'm looking for. She knows the word, and I can't get it out of her head. When people want, eternal life,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want to ever die. And it's like, why? Why would you not
Want to go to the next world?
want to go to the next level, so to speak? Why do you want to stay here? So anyway, there might come a time when the earth is a place where people can be corporeal for eternity, if that's what they want. But they'll probably get bored after a while and go on to other places.
let's say that we have raised our frequencies enough that we can tap into the energy that created this 3D world. At that time, would we be able to create things in our own local environment for our own use?
Well, first of all, the beginning part of your sentence, you already tap into the energies of creation.
I meant
here.
willfully tap into.
Okay, but you want to be able to, as an individual, create something from your mind by tapping into
Yes.
Gaia's energy. Again, it takes meditation. It takes personal growth and lifting your energies, but they have to be quite a bit higher than most of humanity is right now.
So it depends on everyone else too, not just the person doing it?
To an extent, it does.
Elaborate, please.
However, I just did in the previous sentence. It's a co-creation. It is a collaboration. And it's supposed to be to follow this certain plan, although, like I said, the details can vary. And there are individuals through millennia of Homo sapiens sapiens, and a few before that even, who have managed to do similar kinds of things that you're referring to, because their frequencies were high enough. But a relative handful. Part of it now is the history of such things. Humanity has been so afraid when someone was that different and could do this, that, they executed them, burned them at the stake, called them witches, drowned them, hung them, dismembered them. Horrible things. Because these people were beyond the comprehension of the average person. And there's still a lot of that today. So most of the ones who have moved on were either shamans or holy men who segregated themselves from the rest of humanity because they could see that this could be a problem. And was a problem.
Okay. Yeah, that's along the lines I was thinking. So thank you.
Yeah.